legends. Past legends.
Welcome back to the Game On podcast, 5 good minutes in the clubhouse. Again, we're probably going to go over 5 minutes with our next special guest, Wayne Phillips, former Test cricketer for Australia, 27 Tests, 48 one-day internationals, and obviously a legend of South Australian cricket. Welcome, Wayne.
Yeah, g'day, gents. How are we? Yeah, all good. Thank you for that. Yeah, terrific days, and the game has been very, very good to me and continues to be. That's the important thing. So yeah, I've been very, very lucky to be involved with it, and so it's beautiful to be able to reminisce and ensure that all of our listeners just realise how darn good I was.
I was waiting for that. Flip, let's go back to junior days, so 17s and 19s, and let's go back to a bus trip where the cool kids sit on the back of the bus, and who did you sit with? South Australia, Queensland.
Yes, and you're looking to catch up with him tomorrow, actually.
Yes.
So the great Gregory Michael Ritchie, and Fat Cat, and that was the first time we caught up, and we've continued to be genuine good mates for such a long period of time. But yeah, the scallywags always sat at the back of the bus, and I got on and walked down the back seat, and he was already sitting in the back seat already. They picked up the Queenslanders first, and there was Fat Cat already, and we struck a relationship and have maintained it, a genuine one, and really do enjoy his company.
We will come back to Greg Ritchie and at a couple of various times, Flip. Now, you debuted for South Australia 77-78, but it was really the last game of 81-82 where you announced your arrival, 111 and 91 versus Victoria.
Yeah, down at Cardinia Park. That's they're doing the refurb of the MCG. So the Sheffield Shield game was played down there at Cardinia Park. So yeah, I was fortunate to get some runs in both innings.
Hey, Flipper, was that the Merv Hill on the scoreboard game? Where they put Merv Hughes, deliberately put Merv Hughes up as Merv Hill, stirring him up?
No, before his time. So, it was a little bit, just before Merv's time. But it was amazing. So it's a terrific, to watch the footy and tell, people say, oh, yeah, what's that like? So, well, I got a first-class 100 that, not too many people know about it down there at that part of the world. But it was tremendous.
What was it like playing at Cardinia Park? I mean, you don't really see it as a cricket ground.
Yeah, exactly. And, I had a bit of a taste of first-class cricket. So, that was fine. I get in a game and, against Victoria, they were a strong side. But, Hooksy is our captain and to be playing and enjoying it and getting a few runs was just tremendous. Good spot.
And then, of course, the next year, 857 runs at 47 with Rick Darling and the great year, 81-82, finally, South Australia. We can't say those words too often, winning the Sheffield Shield.
Yes, a Sheffield Shield win, and it was great. It was a really good group that we had together, and we played, and we looked at some numbers later in the year, and if we won, but I think we needed to win the last three, and we'd win the Shield. Well, that's exactly what happened, and to be a part of that and to hold that Shield aloft and to be remembered that way is pretty special. It's a great. Great memories, and as I say, Hooksy's leadership was just outstanding, and to grab the Shield was wonderful.
Of course, we were struggling on that first day, and a brilliant piece of fielding by Brian Vincent to run Julian Weiner out really changed the game.
Yeah, it does. And those little incidents, episodes, whatever you want to, as they turn out to be highlights and memorable ones, it's that. And it was it changed the game. That was exactly right. Julian Weiner was in really good form and was it was a tough, was always going to be a great wicket to get. And a brilliant piece of work from Riddy, and we just kept going and had the momentum and managed to maintain it.
And I will say the Crowe's final shot, sweep shot off the late John Scholes, the ball landed about a metre away from me. And I was actually always remember that night that Malcolm Dolman actually somehow I got invited into the rooms, which I don't think ever pleased Hooksy too much. But I actually just virtually sat in the corner and hardly said a word, and just had an awesome night. And of course, from there it was to the Grenfell Tavern.
Yeah, oh yes, you could not go there, and yes, it was a pretty lengthy one. Yes, so unsure as to which exactly what day I got home, but we were members of the Sheffield Shield winning team, and it was just fantastic.
Well, we've already had a promise here that Malcolm wouldn't be home for a couple of weeks if SA won a Shield these days.
Yeah, I reckon I'm pretty safe with that one. Flip, let's go to a famous innings too. You're 260 against Queensland. Now, that was an amusing innings for a number of reasons.
Well, you look, it was opening the batting and getting some runs there. A good side, that Queensland side. But yeah, I was seeing him pretty well and scoring freely. So to be able to keep moving and keep them moving along. Yeah, my highest first class score.
I was referring to how crook you were that day, Flip.
I lost a little bit of weight, and the Seagulls are always very supportive of them and giving them a feed, so that was pretty important, pal. Yeah.
I was working on the scoreboard that game, and that was just Flipper just kept making deposits. He'd hit a 4, he'd square cut Rackerman or Dimmick for 4, wander out to square leg and make another deposit. Oh, it was sensational.
It's not ideal that's how it's remembered, that innings, but I guess that if you were there and you knew about it, well, that's exactly what did happen, so no issue at all, mate.
Now, young Australian side, Zimbabwe tour, 135 in a one-day game.
Yeah, that was it was a fantastic side. The makeup of that side, and it was a sensational trip. I mean, not too many people got to go to Zimbabwe. They were just starting to emerge as a cricket playing nation, and to be a part of that side and to get over there and just see the facilities and get a feel for what it was that they had. And you mentioned the 130 late in the tour, so that was a very special part of the time and a great memory. And playing in as I say, some of those parts of the world and seeing some of the facilities, just spectacular place.
And then the 234 against Tasmania in 83-84.
Yes, yeah. Well, I was fortunate enough to grab another one there, but another, it was just important that we try and win the game of cricket, and to score freely, and it was, knowing my way around Adelaide Oval reasonably well. I was very confident and comfortable playing, so being able to score quickly and fluently was very fortunate.
Now, Flip, your test debut. Now, it's fair to say, is it your life ambition to make sure every single person in the world knows you made 159 on debut?
Well, I'm going about it pretty well.
Yes.
Very
well, Flip.
I've not ever kept it a secret. That I've managed to get that. Look, it's just that some of the ridiculous numbers that come up. 159 and with the start time of my funeral and all those sorts of things.
Your daughter did nominate that, didn't she?
Yes, indeed. So it's to get that 100 and for it to be so provided me so many opportunities and the chances to speak about it and to just to stretch it out a little bit. But very, very special. And it's as I say, it'd be wrong of me not to share that information with people.
Flip, the ironical part about it is probably your greatest test innings, since we didn't know as much about it, was the 120 odd in Barbados.
Yeah, when they did a bit of a test, they did a bit of history on it, ranked the greater innings at Test match level, and mine I think was in the top 25 of the Australia innings in Test match cricket, that 120, and all I say about that is, wow, gee whiz, those other 24, if the top 25 must have been good, because the 120 was just so, such an amazing situation, and to be part of that and against that team, that lineup, that West Indies group that we played against, and to get those runs was very, very special.
It was renowned as one of the best of all time.
Yes, just so four sixes and hitting Marshall, Garner, Holding all for six in an innings was was pretty neat.
Didn't they put up a warning for spectators outside the ground, Flip, that game?
Yeah, dangerous. Yeah, they had to close the street off in Barbados. It's just dangerous for people to be walking. Yeah.
You'd have been worried if I hadn't shoved that one in, Flip. Now, Flip, wicket keeping. Now, you were a far better keeper than you gave yourself credit for, I think. You didn't. So you started off a little bit as a keeping. Then when you made your debut for Sturt, Russell Vincent was the keeper, so you played purely as a batsman. So you sort of floated back and forth with wicket keeping nearly your whole career. Do you almost wish you hadn't ever seen a pair of keeping gloves? But I just wish you'd worked harder at it as well.
No, it was. I was playing cricket for Australia, and you're never ever not going to want to do that. And yes, I had the gloves. Yes, it got pretty tough towards the end, and it was probably not my first choice. But I was getting picked to play for Australia, and no issue at all. And I'd happily pop them away, the gloves, with the way my batting was going, so things were good. But they wanted a reserve keeper to go on tour here and there and that sort of thing. So I always had that little backup skill, that ability to be able to do it if required. And then sadly the injury to Roger Woolley in the West Indies. I ended up with them and, inherited them rather than deserved them. Then I thought, well, whilst I've got them, I'll try and make them my own, and that's what happened.
Do you think you could have worked harder to keeping the spinners?
Probably, but it would have been harder. It would have been hard to do at that stage. I needed to have done it right through. So I had that, 10, 12-year gap where I wasn't doing it. Well, then that made it hard to pick it up and go hard again. Mm.
In 1985, you were selected for the Ashes tour. That would have been a thrill.
Amazing trip. I mean, you don't understand what that entails, being a part of an Australian team going on an Ashes tour to England, and some of the history, those that have been before, the relationships that you establish, the place, the doors that it opens for you, just amazing. And it was still one of the great memories. Now the late Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth, sadly, no longer with us, but to meet her at Lord's, as you do, day two, and to shake hands. And but my great memory was chatting with the late Princess Diana, and as she was the patron of the Gloucestershire County Cricket Club, and had a lovely function that we were able to meet and chat and enjoy, and to chat with her was just wonderful.
That does bring back a memory which I didn't have, Dan. I reckon you were a young cricketer and played, was it for Essex, on memory?
No, I played
earlier on.
I played it. I actually had a scholarship at Lord's for the MCC. Right. Yeah, so I was a young professional at the MCC. So I lived at Lord's. I lived above the Lord's shop there with Don Wilson, the head coach as he was, and so to live at Lord's, have the key to the gate, and all those sorts of things. 1981 was really special. It was a terrific trip and a great opportunity. It gave me great encouragement with the cricket. Martin Crowe was a member as well on that trip, so we established a bit of a relationship, and it was wonderful.
Hooks, let's go back to your one day debut. An incredible game for so many different reasons.
Australia, across in Pakistan, and the game lasted for exactly 6 overs. It was a bit of an issue down at fine leg, Australia in the field, and Jeff Lawson, the Pakistan enthusiastic Pakistan crowd, who just lobbed a few plastic containers over the fence, and so Jeff in his manner picked them up and threw them back into the crowd fairly firmly, and that sort of prompted a genuine riot, and then they ran onto the ground, and we thought this isn't going overly well. And Marshy was he was saying, well, I think we should nick off, and so we did nick off. I thought we'd nick off the ground, but we got off the ground, into the bus, and home we went. And yeah, so my debut for Australia, I did not touch the ball, which was interesting, but wow. Pretty memorable. Yeah, 6 overs.
And then wasn't another situation in India where virtually the Mahatma coat with Greg got born from?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, that was he was the only person in the end. He could not speak the way we are speaking now. He was gone into that ridiculous Mahatma coat
routine.
Routine.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how he spoke the whole time. And if we wanted something ordered to, order lunch, well, you'd go to Fat Cat and he'd speak in their language and with their mannerisms, and that's how we got. And he literally got back from the trip and he could not speak normal English at the time. So that was the birth of Mahatma Coat.
Didn't he help stop a riot with that?
Oh, very much so. Yeah. He could. Yeah, he'd go and speak, and in that language, and with those mannerisms and calm things, and it became an absolute. That was one of his another of his amazing skills. Yes.
Okay, let's go a couple of serious ways here, Flip. Depression, that side of it, which also probably encompasses Hooksy as well.
Oh yes, I mean I was challenged there with a couple of different issues, and I got to a point where I just wasn't feeling overly comfortable at all with doing what I would normally do, and I was a lot happier being at home in the dark, not playing golf, not catching up with mates, those sorts of things. And it really got a bit of an issue. And I was very fortunate. I was asked a question by a mentor, a chap, and it was, are you okay? And I was, strong enough to answer it openly and honestly. And went and had some research, and then, I wasn't brave enough. I was sensible enough to go and have some medical assessment, and I still take medication for it now, and things have got a bit big on me, and now I'm so fortunate that that support network is around the place in a much stronger and more available way. It's important that it is, and it's genuine. Yes, so but it was a battle there for quite a while. Yes.
And you take yourself off to sit with the big photo of Hooksy and that, don't you?
Oh yeah, very much so. Yes, it was very much. He was a very, very special person. To be standing next to him on the night that he ultimately lost his life was a horrible experience. It was still sends a few tingles, but I always make a point of going down and seeing him at Adelaide Oval and having a chat with him and letting him know about how the kids and the grandkids and things are going, and things I think he'd be interested in. And I talked to him, and as I say, he was a tremendous influence.
Yeah, certainly a senseless night. It's just impossible to put it any other way.
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of Hooksy, mate, you had a record partnership with him in 87, 462 runs. That's a great achievement.
Yes. Yeah, it was the partner, but we were trying to win a game of cricket. That was the important thing against Tasmania. And it wasn't perhaps not their strongest, bowling lineup that they've ever had, but we were able to score quickly. We were able to keep the scoreboard moving. We were able to, they kept reading out these with that boundary that takes them past the record of, and all those sorts of things. So it was just tremendous to have it recognised. Saka was so very, very privileged, I think, to have it recognised up in Hooksy's bar. That tremendous photo after the day's play, and as I say, it's a place I get up to quite a bit. But all we were trying to do was get on and win the game, and that's exactly what we did. And to have it recognised that way, very, very special.
Mate, to say that the scoreboard was ticking over, you did it in 299 minutes and 84 overs. That's a pretty fair effort.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we were able to keep scoring and find the boundary fairly regularly, and we didn't have to do too much running. We did, yeah, to get to that partnership was just wonderful.
Just quietly, neither of you ever looked like remotely getting out, being there watching either. It certainly wasn't a worry about go down the back for a while and come back. We knew you two would still be batting.
No, it was tremendous.
Flipper, you're one bit. You, and it'd be remiss with the Adelaide Uni Footy Club listeners not to mention Bob Neal, and you certainly enjoyed the whole our stupidity and carry on, and you and the slips enjoyed us from the scoreboard, under the scoreboard with the whole Bob Neal bit and paging Dr. Bob Neal, etc.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, he was a regular, and he was well acknowledged, and gave us a smile out of the middle. So that was he was well regarded, and he got plenty of mentions. There was no problem with that, and it just sort of kept the smile on your face, and just find out what you scallywags are up to was wonderful. So no, all good, no issue at all there, mate. He was a beauty.
There was one night I actually ran into Justin Langer and Bob Neal, and he's actually turned around from in front of us and said, "Who in the hell is this Bob Neal?" So Brett Dutchke, who is a listener on the podcast, made it his job the rest of the season. Whenever Langer was walking out to bat, he would page Dr. Bob Neal, and Langer got to the point of walking out to bat, shaking his head at a Shield game in Queensland as the illustrious Dr. Bob Neal would be paged. Of course, the legend never was a doctor. So these things happen.
No, just incredible, isn't it? Yeah, so that's the sort of thing that the game can provide, does provide, and people can enjoy it along with the actual playing of. So,
mate, speaking of things that you enjoyed, you had to pinch yourself with Lillian Marshall and Chappell and all the greats there, mate, in the Australian team.
Oh, just to come into that side, and that was basically my first series. Was the last, that Pakistan series, the last of Rod Marsh, Greg Chappell, Dennis Lilly. To be there, a part of that, and it was basically a farewell tour. Was the trip, and was the summer, and the way they went about it and what they brought to the table, what they created for us, and the legacy that they provided, just tremendous. And so to be a part of that is a very special memory indeed.
And obviously ushering in the new era of Australian cricket, you're a part of that for a few tests, is that right?
Oh yes, I think so. When you look at some of those ones that came through and established themselves, Booney and Jeff Marsh came together. Then Stephen Moore, another who came into that side. Simon O'Donnell was a ripper, and just these younger guys, Craig McDermott, and they established themselves. Merv then came in, and a real character, Booney, as I said earlier. But there was just some real talent that was there, and then they got together and became a tremendous side. Alan Border, the captain, and led them so well. So it was great days, great memories. Yeah, very, very lucky indeed.
Who was the biggest practical joker amongst that group?
Oh, Fat Cat, no issue, danger. No, but by daylight, no issue there at all. No competition.
Let's go to a serious one. The influence of Kenneth George Cunningham on your career, mate? For all our muck around about KG, he is a great man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, so loyal and just so genuine and so supportive. Was I think he saw in his eye that I had a little bit of talent, and he gave me just so much encouragement, and I was just so fortunate and continue to be supported by him. Got me into do some media and all that sort of stuff. So he's been a great influence, mate, and anything I can do to help him, I do, and I make a point of doing that because he was just tremendous. Yeah, no issue at all.
Now, Pete, you mentioned the king of practical jokes. I'd say certain Wayne Bentley Phillips ranks pretty high in that regard. Now, there was a district game, Sturt playing East Torrens. East Torrens that week had signed a major sponsorship deal with Dean Southwood re non-smoking. So Flipper is facing up to the first ball of the game. As the bowler virtually gets into his delivery stride, Flipper backs away, packet of smokes out the pocket. Anyone want to smoke? Yeah,
so there are a few that we had some fun with. I think it was basically the why we ended up with. I ended up getting the Sam Howard to bowl 2 overs in a row, which was A grade, first grade game. That was something that I always thought of. Like, I wonder if I could get this past the umpires. I got it to happen, and I was just standing there thinking, I don't know that I can achieve too much anymore. And so then the end of that was pretty much the end of it. So
that was the last over of the day and the first over of the next day, wasn't it?
Correct. Yes.
Oh,
So
that makes sense now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. It was. So it was all the plan. We all knew it. The team knew exactly not to ask any questions where they were to stand. And sure enough, in they came. And get Salisbury, and got the 2 overs in a row. So
Did any of the Salisbury guys realise?
The Captain Harvey Jolly, where the scorer's light was flashing, and Harv came out and wanted to know what's going on. What are we going to do here? I said, well, sorry, Harv, I've been playing for years. I've never experienced that before. I have no idea. Yeah, what do we do now? Yeah, so it was a bit played in the right spirit, but not quite right.
Any wickets get taken?
No, it's a tragedy, but so it could have been perfect, but that was just
anyone else they would have thought was an accident. Obviously, with you, Flip, we knew far better in that regard. Now, you end your Australian career, it's a bit bizarre. Your last one-day game, you joint man of the match, and give the words what you told a young Steve Waugh as he's come out to bat.
Oh, well, we were chasing, Whitney Wellington. So, chasing, and it was a tough total. And, I think Stephen came out and we were needing 8 or 10 and over or something. It was, crazy. And, I said to him, with your youth and my talent, we'll get these with 2 overs to spare. And that's exactly what happened. So, he wrote it in his book, unfortunately. It wasn't ideal, but, we got them, and, it was remembered that way. So, and,
I think there's a career in motivational speaking for you, mate.
I wonder.
Of course, and your week after the 400, and we better not miss this one out, Flip. Your week after the 462 runs, you hit a couple in the middle in the McDonald's Cup final.
Yes, down there in Hobart, of course, and against Tassie. So to win that game and to win the McDonald's Cup was a beauty for South Australia. So great. It was one of the great mess ups of Hooksy's. Of Hooksy's time, unfortunately, when he did the
headline.
The presser before the game. I think the question he was asked by one, what's it going to be like? I think with 14,000 people, how good's that going to be? Hooksy, 14,000 people, 28,000 heads. That's going to be great. And it didn't go down overly well. And they remembered it the next day. Don't worry.
And Glenn Bishop got 100 in that game, and then you creamed him with 70 odd not out at the end.
Yes, got a few at the end. So that got us to the score. That gave us plenty enough to be able to set a challenge for Tassie, and they just wouldn't be able to get the chase done. So we held on, and a terrific win and terrific memory, that one. Holding that trophy aloft.
Bob Simpson, the word.
It was. Well, was appointed the coach of the Australian team, and he saw it necessary that some changes needed to be made, and not with not attitude, but with personnel and style and all that sort of thing. And there are a few that probably went about it in a way that he didn't necessarily agree with. So he had to make some tough decisions, and that's what happened. And there were some changes in the Australian lineup, and on the back of that was the end, unfortunately. So so be it.
You and Greg were probably never going to be his cup of tea.
Well, he saw some necessity for some different style of play and some different attitude of discipline and that sort of thing. So that was the reasoning behind it, I'm sure.
And then coaching the Redbacks, and of course you wondered why there was any ever problems. You got us into the final 8. There was no problems, I would have thought.
Yeah, they were terrific tie. Yeah, ultimately not a huge amount of success to relate to, but as I say, just terrific. And yeah, they were great relationships we've established, and some great memories, and some great times. And yeah, it was another lovely little chapter in my time with the game.
All right, I'll give you a serious one. You're carte blanche. You can do anything to South Australian cricket at the moment. What would you do to make our Shield team competitive?
Oh, gee. I thought. Well, what I'd do is I'd drop Travis Head and Alex Carey from the Australian side.
Yeah, come on. I want a serious answer, Flip. Come on.
Look, I'd love to try and toughen up grade cricket a little more if I could, and yeah, whatever. Now I know that there's some talk of that going to happen and will happen, but let's see how that plays out. But I just don't know that Premier grade cricket is providing the firm competition that we need it to do to get our players right and ready for Shield cricket.
I'm not sure about the proposed, Div 1, Div 2 almost, and how that's going to work. Our state players going to have to play in Div 1, etc. Look, there's one thing. It was Hooksy's idea to go for district cricket 11 to 6 o'clock, let's play Shield hours. And I think we all thought, you can see that. But it wasn't really thought of the flow-on effect of, right, the older guy, 30, 31, 32, stop playing grade cricket, and it has become a younger one, and it has lost that competitive edge. You think back to when you started, Flip, KG, Bob Blewett, Clacker Clark, Trevor Pearson, Barry Corsby. There was tough nuts. It was I scored for Kenzie back in those days, and it was a bloody tough competition.
Very much so. Yeah, I played. My first Shield game, we started a tiny bit late because we waited for the Australian players to come back from Australian duty to be part of that side. Their plane was delayed, but Gary Cozier and Ashley Mallett both played in that game. Australian Test match players playing grade cricket.
Which, you used to regularly have that. Like a game against Glenelg, you'd play. Ian and Greg used to play 3, 4, 5 district games a year, and it was as a young kid. It was a great education.
Tremendous, yes, exactly right. And I just don't know that that's presenting itself to them as of today. And that's the pest. So something needs to be done. I don't know that. I don't think there's a short, quick, brief answer, but we need to be certainly trying to ensure that the quality of play is there and doing what it needs to do.
One of my other pet hates is the Big Bash started, and it was a golden goose ticket. Like if you'd said you were going to sell out Adelaide Oval for domestic cricket, would have put you in the asylum convention sort of thing. And then they killed the golden goose by just playing. The Big Bash seems to go for it's like Blue Hills never finishing, and that's from a cricket nut. I just think they just killed instead of making it a must have and a must go, it's become I might go, whatever. The longevity of it is asking a few questions, isn't it? The relevance of it, and it's it's a terrific product, but I don't quite know what it's doing for. As we're saying, the question was about getting South Australian cricket and making sure it's sharp and hard and firm and doing what it needs to do. There's some questions of the whole game being asked. Okay, best players played with, against, that sort of things. Best bowlers faced, hardest batsmen, all that sort of side of things. Yeah, well,
that West Indies side to play against them was wonderful, and so you look at some of those names, and those that have been knighted due to their contribution to the game of cricket. So that they were just fantastic. I mean, you just run down through that West Indies 11, and you look at some of the great players that have ever played the game. So to be a part of that. Rod Marsh, obviously, Greg Chappell, another, Dennis Lilly, another brilliant, Alan Border to play with those. I mean, they're just, special against Imran Khan, Wasim Akram, there's no, and then go back to England, Ian Botham, David Gower, all of those sorts of guys. It was just, Bob Willis, all that. Yeah, you're just so darn lucky, mate. And great names and great contributors to the game.
Mate, you talk about playing with all those great players and obviously your achievements. We'd be doing you a disservice if we didn't mention the 159 again.
I was a bit dark. We got the cricket on in the background here, and Labuschagne played and missed on 153. Do you think I was hoping he'd nick that to let you know that you still had him covered, Flip?
Mate, did I read somewhere or hear somewhere that there's a petition circulating trying to get the Adelaide Oval changed to Phillips Field?
That's been a massive push, I understand, from one person. I don't think it's quite caught on as I'd hoped, but so we can have a bit of fun with that. And it's got a nice, it's got a nice tone to it. It's got a nice feel to it. I think we'll see what happens.
Now, Flip, there was one thing I'm very glad Pete brought that up because it reminded me. Now, we've just had the national draft occurred, and a certain Wayne Bentley Phillips is probably one of, if not the main reasons why the draft system got changed. Go for that and explain everything what happened, Flip.
Oh, sorry, no. I just, I was a little bit bored and didn't have a lot to do, so just nominated myself for the AFL draft. Yeah, got through the first. Yeah, didn't get picked up, but got some lovely letters from the AFL and.
Didn't you put the wide wingman and could boundary umpire at the same time, Morfordville Park, C-grade or something?
I was going to say, how many SANFL games are we up to?
None.
No. How many A-grade games are we up to?
So, just very, very cool. Yeah, it was just a quiet time at the days at SGIC and needed a letter. So, got it done. Yeah, okay.
What made you think of that?
Sorry. I had nothing to do. So I saw that and thought it might be worth having a bit of a run out. I've got to wrap it up, boys.
Yes, as I said. Don't worry about the practical jokes from Greg Ritchie. Flipper was well and truly in contention. Hey, Flip, greatly appreciated, mate.
No troubles at all, guys. No, it's always good to chat, and I hope that those that do have a listen get a bit of a smile out of it. It's been very good to me.
Thank you very much, mate, and we might touch base with you once again in a little while. And
well played on your role with the Veterans Carnival last week too, Flip. Yes. Thanks for that. Well done. Great result, South Australia as well. South Australia, we had the girl, we had the strikers on, and that in South Australia, winning Div 1 and Div 2 for a week. We were the dominant cricket state.
Yeah, won't it be great if we can get it happening on a regular basis? Beautiful, boys.
Sounds like fun. Thanks, mate.
See you now. Bye.
And mate, we've just had Flipper on for a fantastic interview that I don't think I've stopped laughing the entire time.
Oh, he is a very funny man. Look, lucky enough to have spent a fair bit of time with Flipper over the years, and glad that I remembered the draft
story
the bit at the end, because it's not often that you get Wayne a little bit tongue-tied, so I'm quite happy to notch that one up on the belt.
Enjoys his golf, which we briefly talked about before we started the interview, but as a cricketer, you don't get much better than Flipper.
Oh, look, Flipper's one of the great left-handers. Yes. Phillips, Hooks, Lehman. It's we've been blessed in that way. Flipper was sublime timer of the ball, and just very, very funny man.
Played in the golden era of cricket. Mentioning some of those names, and obviously, through England and the West Indies, and obviously Australian cricket, it was just amazing.
And we got some serious side as well.
Absolutely.
In this crazy world we live in, we all need the distraction. Enjoying the show? Like, rate, and subscribe. Hook up and connect with us on social media at Sportscast SA. We'll see you next time on Game On.